Hey guys, Lance here, best day of MTB, and yeah, not great news. We're in lockdown here in Auckland. Been a bit sad and depressed about it, to be honest. Haven't been for a ride for 3 weeks, just been going to work and just stuck at home like everybody else. I know over the last 12 months, a lot of you guys from America and Europe have sent me comments saying, loved watching the videos while you guys were in lockdown and we were lucky enough to ride. So I guess it's our turn, and now I'm watching videos of the rest of the world while you guys ride your bikes and we stay home. But anyway, got to keep moving. So I thought what I'd do is I'd check out my lockdown track I made at the beginning of the pandemic, see what it looks like, and I'm going to see if I can make an edit, believe it or not, with my drone. Now this may be a really bad idea, trying to fly a drone in a native bush, but I'm going to see what I can do. Anyway, should we go and have a look and see what the track looks like? Alright, so believe it or not, it's really wet in here, of course. I can hardly walk on it. It's so muddy and slippery. But yeah, it's pretty much covered in all these Nikau branches. If you live in the bush, these things fall constantly from the trees, and it sounds like there's monsters walking around by your house. But yeah, alright. I guess, well, it's going to be a job for me. Let's see if we can clear the track. Okay, first job, reclaim the track. Pretty much got buried under all these Nikau branches and trees and dead leaves and everything. You can see all the plants have overgrown the track. Good and bad about making a track in native bush is that you kind of really aren't doing any harm, because it will, you know, if you don't ride it for a while, it rapidly just gets reclaimed back to what it was. No, this is not sped up at all. This is just me at normal sort of work pace. I like to be fairly industrious and get through it pretty quick. Alright, this is turning out to be a lot like manual labour. I must admit, pretty hard going. Decided to have a bit of a lunch break, and I'm going to carry on after lunch. The track is really wet. Where I live in Auckland. It rains a lot in Auckland this time of year, and I live in a rainforest which rains a third more than the rest of Auckland. So it's pretty wet. But I'm hoping if I can remove all of the wet, rotten, organic material off the track, it might dry a bit over the next week, and maybe we'll finish this video next week. For those of you who watch my videos, they do take a while to come out, so yeah, if you're watching a video over the next few weeks, I probably filmed them before lockdown, and this one probably will get shown after lockdown. That's just the way I roll. Anyway, let's carry on working. These vines are amazing. They grow all throughout the bush and make it almost impossible to walk anywhere if there's not a designated track. But yeah, within the last year, they completely covered the track again. Now this was a real revelation. Hadn't tried this before. Got out the leaf blower, and this was amazing. It just made a track appear before your eyes, and removing all that organic material meant the track had a really good chance to dry out. Rained a lot during the following week. But still, when I came to ride, it wasn't a bad surface. Hey guys, we've jumped a week further forward, now 4 weeks without any sort of a ride, so I'm going to see if we can try out my track. This week's been a bit crazy. Actually had flooding in West Auckland. Steve had a lake outside his house and couldn't go to work. Super gutted about that, he was. But it's not too bad here. Taking all that organic matter off the track, dried out a lot, still a little bit damp. COVID, the track is right next to my house, so it's local. I've graded it a grade 2, so that complies as well. And the 2 maybe is a bit suspect, but anyway, we're just going to ride it nice and slow. So anyway, let's go and see what it's like to ride. Alright, first run. Got the tyre pressures like ridiculously low. Don't exactly know what, but let's just call them squishy. Now I guess I'm pretty lucky to have a bit of space behind my house to make a few tracks. Just got a few sort of short runs and a bit of a loop. But to be honest, it's not particularly long. And yeah, it's kind of fun going around a couple of times, but then yeah, you kind of want more, and you kind of realise just how much work goes into making some of these trail networks. Even just clearing an existing track pretty much took me a whole day just to re-find a track, let alone build a track. So yeah, a lot of work goes into making a track. So if you ever ride it, yeah, keep that in mind. All right, so I've had a little warm up on the track, ready to go. So now the point of this video was, can I use my drone to get some footage in the bush? Seems almost impossible. This thing has got sort of, this is the Skydio 2, supposed to have obstacle avoidance, 360-degree obstacle avoidance. But I've tried it in the trees once, lasted about 5 seconds before it crashed. So it can't track you through the trees, it's just not going to happen. But can I get it to hover in various places and get some shots? So that's what we're going to try today. Maybe a bad idea, I'm not sure, but anyway, let's give it a go. Okay, so let's get the Skydio up in the air. This thing can be operated from a beacon, a phone, and also from a controller, but I don't have the controller. The beacon acts as a GPS, it can track via GPS, and the phone, it can also obviously track you visually. So I've got the thing in the air. I'm using both because it tends to work better if you have both at the same time. And the idea of I've got it flying in an open space, and I'm going to drop it down under the tree line, and we're going to try and navigate it into the track. Now the drone has 360-degree obstacle avoidance, so hopefully shouldn't hit anything, although I did try it on a track once and it did crash. But if you do it slow, it's generally pretty good. Now the feature I'm going to try and use here is I'm actually not going to try and track, because it's just not going to be able to do it through the trees, but I'm going to try and get it to hover, and although the drone won't move, the camera will, and so it will follow me, and so that's the plan. Now I've worn a nice orange t-shirt, so it should stand out in the bush, and as you can see it's watching me, and I can click on my phone and click on myself, and then it will start tracking me, and I put it on hover mode. Okay, so we've lost the subject, it can't find me, and this was a problem I was having quite a bit. I didn't need to go, I just went behind a tree and it rapidly lost me, even if it was only for a short second. And so I've locked the drone, it's locked on me now, it can see me, and I'm going to ride down the track and it's going to follow me all the way down the track. That's the plan. Okay, the question is, did it work? No, it didn't. It didn't pick me up or follow me. So, yeah, that was a bit of a failure. Okay, back up the track. I went up the track so many times. I was exhausted. Walk mode. I don't know about you guys. I find walk mode a bit underwhelming. Yeah, struggle to make it work really well, and it's not that powerful, and yeah, you just end up kind of pushing the bike up, really. Okay, so I've got the drone. You can see it there. It's locked on me. It can see me. I'm going to ride past it, and the camera should track round and follow me all the way down. It's in an open space. What could possibly go wrong? It works, and then it stops. So again, it lost me. So again, yeah, getting a bit frustrated at this point. Yeah, it's not going quite as well as planned. You can see it's not an easy environment. Here's another attempt. Okay, so it's now gone completely demented. So yeah, you can see it's not perfect. Now, I came up with a completely different plan here. I've actually put the phone and the beacon down on the ground underneath the drone. I'm not even going to use them, and I've just set the camera up in a fixed position, and I'm just going to ride past it. And this is pretty much what I ended up to get the shots for today. Literally put the drone in a position and just flew underneath it. So not perfect, but I did manage to get some shots. Nice and easy to land. The Skydio literally lands in your hand. It's quite clever, and that's the safest way to land it, because it's not going to hit anything on the ground. Did go around the other side of the house, flew it up into the sky, and actually come up with a different plan this time. Came in over the top, used the camera to, the phone to adjust the camera so that it pointed down to get some shots of me riding. Not many open shots, so a bit difficult to do. But anyway, did manage to get some shots. So here is my little edit with a few drone shots. I hope you enjoy. Well, I must admit, I'm absolutely exhausted. Taken me all day to film that and most of last weekend to get the track ready. Hope you liked the little edit I made in the end. The drone, a little bit disappointing. I was hoping to get a lot more shots, but it's very limited to what you can do in the bush. Good news is I didn't crash it, and I'm looking forward to maybe getting a chance to find some open trails where I can use it a little bit more. If you do like all the work I put into this video, and you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love it if you did that. Thumbs up, like, always love hearing your comments. And hopefully lockdown will be over soon and we can all go out for a ride.